The best way to deal with injuries as a runner is simply just to not get them in the first place. So in today's video, I'll be sharing my top 7 ways that you can avoid injury as a runner. Hi everyone, my name is Casey and I'm a physical therapist who works with runners to help them run smarter, stronger, and faster. I hope you liked today's video, and if so, a like and subscribe would mean a lot. Research suggests that upwards of 80% of runners are likely to experience some form of a running-related injury over the course of a year that sidelines them from consistent training. And while it's impossible to prevent all running-related injuries, 80% is just way too high of a number. That's just awful. I think there's a big gap to fill concerning educating runners and how they can best approach their training lifestyle in ways that help them avoid injury. And I think that filling this gap through education could significantly decrease that 80% number. So that's what we're gonna do in today's video. I'm gonna be giving you my top 7 ways to avoid injury as a runner. So at number 1, we have strength training. I listed this as number 1 because I'm passionate about the running community adopting this into their regimen, at least to some degree, as recent research has shown this to be a huge benefit to runners. Running is essentially a series of single leg hops where with each hop you're producing up to 4 to 10 times your body weight in force per step. So it's clear that you need to have ample strength in your primary muscle groups to be able to accept these loads repeatedly over time. And strength training is just a great means to be able to increase your muscles, tendons, and joints capacity to be able to absorb these large ground reaction forces that are experienced in running. Another huge benefit of strength training is that it helps increase your bone density, which helps to prevent stress fractures and other minor bone stress injuries. A recent study found that running itself actually isn't that great at building bone density, and while this was kind of a bummer of a finding, it was an absolute W of a finding for pushing the importance of resistance training in the running community as a means to help increase that bone density. And even if you're focused on improving performance more than you are avoiding injury, strength training also significantly helps improve performance by multiple means, including improving your running economy, increasing the tendon stiffness that helps absorb and release forces more efficiently, and aiding in reducing muscular fatigue that's experienced in running as well. So overall, there are tons of good reasons to add strength training to your regimen as a runner. It's just ridiculous. It's outrageous. At number 2, we have writing your plan in pencil. This will allow you to race and change your training as you go based on how you feel on any given day. This means to be adaptable and not force yourself into doing a workout that you have planned no matter how your body is feeling. This is basically just another way of saying listen to your body. So if you have a tough workout scheduled on Wednesday and you were up Tuesday night watching cat videos on YouTube and you only got 3 hours of sleep that night, then altering that workout on Wednesday is probably in your best interest, perhaps by decreasing the total distance or intensity of the run, or even moving that workout to a different day of the week. This also means that if you've had a little sore area developing somewhere in your body, like your knee or your Achilles tendon, to have the ability to alter your training and be able to address that sore area rather than just stick through it and press on no matter how it's feeling. And while it's good to not freak out at every sore area you might have and pathologize your symptoms, it's equally important to listen to what your body is telling you and to be able to take action before those small problems become big problems. And writing your plan in pencil can also go the other way. So if you start your workout feeling really good on that given day for whatever reason, then maybe you want to alter your workout to be a little bit tougher, maybe by adding in a progression run at the end of your long run. Basically, it's just really tough to know how your body will react to training, especially if you're new to running. So it's best to stay adaptable, as following your plan strictly to a T can oftentimes lead to injury. This is also where a coach can be very helpful to guide you along the way rather than just blindly following a pre-made program. And if you're interested, I'm currently working on a coaching service for runners, and depending on when you're watching this, it might already be available to you. So yeah, if you're interested, go ahead and click the link in bio and check it out. At number 3, we have sleep, aiming for about 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Sleep is probably the easiest, cheapest, and most underrated and undervalued component of injury prevention. Sleep is simply when our body recovers, building muscle and recovering from the stresses that are placed on it in training. After all, what makes us faster isn't the training itself, but it's the adaptations that our body makes from the training, which sleep plays a big role in facilitating. Having suboptimal sleep affects the immune and endocrine systems, which impact recovery and training adaptations. It also impairs cognitive function, can cause an increase in pain perception, changes in mood, so just all around bad things. And many runners are concerned with supplements and things like massage guns and foam rolling for injury prevention. But before looking at these things, it's always important to first consider the low-hanging fruit hanging right in front of you, like sleep, as there are huge benefits to be had simply from improving this area. Rolling into number 4, we have building your mileage gradually. A large majority of injuries are a result from doing too much, too fast, with too little recovery. It's super normal for runners to always be wanting to do more and working harder, constantly improving, but it's important to approach this with a strategic, gradual progression to allow your body time to adapt to the increase in stresses that it's undergoing. A very general guideline to follow with this is to increase your mileage around 10% per week. And this could be more or less depending on a variety of factors, like if you're returning from injury or if you're just starting off running, it could be a little higher than that. But very generally, this is a solid guideline to follow. It can be tempting to increase your training like crazy right away, but remember that running is a long-term game and patience is super key for this, and building that mileage gradually will have better results for you down the road. At number 5, we have running with good mechanics. It's important to know that no running pattern is considered perfect. However, there are still some concepts about mechanics that are definitely important to consider in avoiding injury. As a very brief overview, 3 things to think about to help you assess your own running form are maintaining good posture, not overstriding, and to avoid bobbing up and down excessively. I'll be making more videos addressing mechanics and running form more in depth, but in short, running with good mechanics will help you avoid some unnecessary increases in stresses that are placed on your joints, as well as just help you run more efficiently. Also, if you happen to be a sprinter watching this video, make sure to check out my video on Usain Bolt. I did an analysis on him that addresses sprinting mechanics in particular. At number 6, we have utilizing a good warm-up. A good warm-up has been estimated to result in all the way up to 50% reduction in developing an overuse injury. A lot of runners will look at a warm-up as kind of like a time waster or kind of like an optional thing, but a good warm-up really makes a world of a difference and is definitely well worth the time and effort to put aside in your runs. I'm actually releasing a video on a good warm-up to do before your runs in about a week or so make sure to check that out if you're interested. So rounding off the list at number 7, we have utilize cross-training. For those unfamiliar, cross-training is any form of exercise that you do in addition to running that helps give your body a break from the normal stresses of running while still maintaining or even improving your aerobic fitness. Cross-training is just super useful for recovery days as well as general rehab, just to allow your body to recover from the stresses that are placed on your muscles, tendons, and joints, again, all while maintaining fitness levels. Common forms include biking and swimming, but even playing sports like soccer or basketball will help to build strength and flexibility in different planes of motion, as well as simply just to provide some stimuli and variation to the otherwise super repetitive nature of running. Also, if you might be dealing with a nagging injury, you can utilize cross-training in a way that mimics what you would have done on a regular running day. So for example, if you had a long run plan for a day, you could utilize cross-training by biking for the same duration and relative intensity that your long run would have been. Or say you had a workout plan that day that looked something like 3 by 1600 meters. You could replace that with a cross-training day that again includes the intensity and duration of what a 3 by 1600 meter day would look like in running. So if you would run your 1600 meters at 8 minutes, then you could perform a bike session of say 3 by 8 minutes at relatively the same intensity as that run would have been. Cross-training is just overall a great way to give your body a break while also not losing the gains you've already made in fitness. And it can also help avoid burnout, which a lot of runners will experience at some point. So it's just overall a very valuable tool to use. So that's it. Those are my 7 tips for avoiding injuries as a runner. It's kind of a long video, but there's a lot to be said about each one of these 7, but hopefully that was a decent overview of each. I really believe that if all runners aim to implement these 7 things into their training and lifestyles, that 80% number we talked about earlier would just plummet and that we'd all be able to run more regularly and do so faster as well. But anyways, I hope you found this video helpful. If you want to continue to learn how to run smarter, stronger, and faster, feel free to subscribe. I'll be making a lot more videos in the near future that I think you'll like. So, yep, peace.